and welcome to Intuitive Talks with Elizabeth Maria, where we talk all things spiritual and learn how to use some of these tools in our everyday life. Yay, guys! I am so happy. As always, this is really a huge part of my own daily spiritual practice. And so I'm just so thankful to be here. Whoever decides to tune in, hang out for a little bit. It's Tuesday, you might be at work, might be on lunch break, whatever. Just welcome in. Just clear the airwaves, the frequencies between you and me as we come together for this moment, for this time. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you. Okay, guys, so we got a little bit of cleansing energy out there in the airwaves between you and me as we come together to see what kind of beautiful day is going to unfold for this talk. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the Ascended Master reading. Thank you, Great Spirit, for bringing us together today. What do you have to show us? All of our ancestors, our ascended masters, our angels are here gathered. Show us what we need to see to be the best version of we. Okay, guys, I love these collective. Oh, I love it, guys. We have Lakshmi and the flow of prosperity. I love it. Let me get here. So hopefully y'all can just look at that beautiful, beautiful picture for a second. And the flow is all around us. So let's look it up and see what Dorn Virtue and, just the energies that be have to say today about Lakshmi. So this card indicates that your prayers are all of your prayers are about to be answered. Your prayers about finances have been heard and they've already been answered. Tap into your manifestation power by focusing on abundance instead of worrying about money. And guys, money is just one form. It's a beautiful form, but it's only one form of beautiful currency, that exchange of energy, right? And Great Spirit, this life, it's got your back, guys. And so I love the idea or the phrase, worrying is only praying for what you don't want, right? And so, basically worrying is kind of like a lesser evil because it's saying that you don't trust the process. Hey guys, yes I do. Right now I'm doing a Ascended Master reading. And so we are, bringing in the energy of Lakshmi. Yes, it's all about perspectives, Dancy. It's all about perspectives. And the energy flows through between you and me. I love it. So This card again is all about a new flow of prosperity that is supporting you and your loved ones, right? So stop worrying. Remember, worrying is only praying for what you don't want, right? Everything is gonna be okay, especially in respect to finances. So you have the choices, guys. You have the support out there. Let's see, from BIM3379, can you do my reading when you are free? I right now what we're focusing on is collective readings, and you can DM me on any of my platforms and we'll just go from there, okay? So let's see. You have the support to make a desired life change right now, guys. And so it's all about visualizing what it is that we want to see, not staying stuck in old patterns that no longer serve. And for me, worrying was an old pattern that kept me in a state of anxiety. And we don't want that, right? I mean, because we have a choice. We get to choose. We don't get to choose what happens out in the world to everyone else, right? But we get to choose how we react, what our, energy vibration level is going to be at. And Lakshmi right here, this is all about being in that energy of abundance, because it's a choice, right? And again, like I said last week, I mean, you can find abundance in everything. And so just a little bit about Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the Hindu goddess of prosperity who helps us overcome financial fears and tap into the river of abundance that's available to everyone. It's helpful to put a statue or painting of Lakshmi in the financial corner of your house. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, guys, we can call upon this wonderful Hindu ascended master, Lakshmi, to help us transmute money worries into financial flow. So call on the energy of Lakshmi. Okay, guys, wonderful reading, wonderful way to start the discussion. So today I am going to kind of shift gears a little bit. Actually, no. This is, this is my show. This is my YouTube, so I'm just gonna do what I want to do. Anyways, so the title of today's spiritual discussion is transmuting victimhood into victory by using the spoken word or the written word. I am a writer, and so I wanted to go back. My business, Elizabeth Maria Unlimited, is I'm a writer, I'm a whole food health advocate, and I offer intuitive guidance. And so I wanted to kind of go through each part of, what encompasses who I am and, what I'm excited to offer the world. And right now, guys, I mean, my main focus is to stay in a state of gratitude myself and to focus on my creative endeavors and to share them with the world in the hopes that you guys just get a little upliftment, a little maybe motivation, inspiration. I mean, that's what it's all about. The world is in a state of uncertainty, and it has been my what has worked for me to keep me in a state of unshakable understanding of who I am in the face of all of this uncertainty is the written word. So I wanted to first frame it as a discussion of, just the world collective, what we consider, writing. And so we all know, guys, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but we all understand and know the power of words. I consider words as one of the building blocks of this material reality. It's for me, and again, this is just my coming into these ideas. So for me, it's frequency, sound, right? Color, numbers, and then words. And so words is the last stage before we come into full physical manifestation. And that word manifestation is honestly problematic for me, because it's not like we're like poof manifesting stuff from thin air, right? All we're doing is aligning our energy to what is already here for us to experience, right? And so the powers that have been, I'll put that in the past tense. The powers that have been have known that writing or oral spoken word is powerful, right? I mean, and going kind of into this, there's also been a huge debate about okay, we know that words and language are powerful, right? I mean, that's why they call it spelling, right? Because we are actually, but the idea of casting spells is really just an idea of sending intention out into the world behind whatever tool that you choose to use. And so if you're spelling using words, then that is your tool to put intention out into the world. And so I feel that the term casting spells really kind of gets a negative connotation. And so it's really just putting out your intention to the world. So we know that words are powerful. I know within academic circles, there has been a huge debate about, and it's because we put these debates within a hierarchical structure, which honestly is, I think, the problem with everything. But because there is no what if it's, better or worse or whatever, it's just everything is, right? And so oral language came first. I mean, I'll say that, right? And we think about the oral traditions of the griots, right, in Western Africa, or, all over, who traveled and spoke the histories and spoke the stories of, their people, right? And we're talking about a time, oh, shoot. I didn't realize there was going to be a commercial on here. Let's pause that. Oh, it's doing something. Anyways, where was I? Let me just turn this down a little bit. Okay, some nice flute music to get back in the flow. Anyways, so this was at a time, when the griots were traveling the land, when Timbuktu was the, height of intellectual power, right? And we're talking way, way, way before the Europeans and, their bards, right? And so this was an oral history that was passed down. And so I believe that there is, great strength and power in the oral word, right? But the word is also powerful as a written form, right? And so, I really haven't ruminated over because you speak it and then you write it, or you can think it and then you write it. So that kind of process. However, I believe that the debate between the written language and the oral language really has no basis, because it's both. They're both powerful, powerful ways to create, to transmute, to bring in, to set up boundaries, I mean, that's why, millions of books have been burned, right? Because of the power of language. So I really don't think there should be a debate. And I believe why is because we live in a dualistic world. So we believe that there needs to be a right, wrong, black, right, up, down, all of that jazz, right? But all of that is just, a mental illusion that we tell ourselves, I guess maybe to help us feel safe and secure in these vessels. However, we know, guys, I mean, I know that you guys can feel it in your body the way I can, that we are infinite. We are infinite beings having a physical experience. And within this physical experience, words and language is one of the cornerstones of material form, right? The written word has been used as a subversive, revolutionary written form for ages. It is a language and a word that can literally move mountains. And so I cannot emphasize enough the importance of language and of words, both spoken orally and written. Now, I am a writer. I do a lot of talking as well. But I wanted to now kind of move into the so below. So as above, right? Language is, I mean, again, what is it? The first line of the Bible, and then there was the word, or something like that, right? First there was the word, right? It's so everything boils down to, again, frequency, sound, color, numbers, and then the word. Let's do it this way. Frequency, sound, color, numbers, the word, right? And then there was the word. And so it's the building block of this material reality, which I think is really, really beautiful. I mean, I can nerd out about this stuff, guys, let me tell you. Anyway, so moving from our as above discussion into so below. So what can we do with this information, right? When I was in academics, one of my biggest complaints was, how is my research, how is my writing applicable to the everyday world, right? I was not interested in, sitting up in that ivory tower just ruminating. I have always wanted my scholarship, my research, my writing, my words to be applicable to everyday life. So how can we bring writing into our everyday life? Well, before I give you guys, a couple practical tools that you can use or not, I just wanted to, and I want to turn this down a little bit. I love the flute, guys. I actually played the flute in middle school. I was really good. I got up to like third chair. I would love to play the flute again. And I feel like I probably have muscle memory with it, but it's just been a long time. Anyways, I'm turning that down. So, yay. So, going to my own personal writing journey. I started writing I started speaking actually poetically when I was 3. And I told my mother, I said, God is in everything. The trees, the birds, and the steering wheel and Daddy's beard. And I don't think it was exactly like that, but it pretty much was. So, and she wrote it down. And so my mother was really one of the first people to encourage me to write down what it was that I was speaking. By the time that I was in the first grade, I was writing short stories. I started writing serial stories where I would write chapter by chapter, and this was kind of up in elementary school and middle school, I had a typewriter, and I would write a chapter, give it to my friends, they'd read it, and then I'd write the next chapter. So writing has just been a huge part of my life. I did go to the University of Georgia. I have a bachelor's in English and African American studies, and I have my master's in English and creative writing. I taught within academia for close to a decade. I've taught all over the world, really, and I taught writing strategies, research strategies, world literature, American poetry. So that was my life for many years while I was raising my daughter. I have used my writing as a form to connect to community when I was a lot younger. I mean, I have written for several zines. I started writing groups, and I mean, basically, it doesn't matter, and this is all about like learning like how to become unshakable. Well, and using your creative talents to help you. Doesn't matter where you're at in this world. You can use your creative talents. Mine is writing. I like to joke that writing is one of my superpowers. I wield the pen. And so, let's see where I was. Yeah. So writing for me has been a huge source of self-healing in my life. It's a way to help release energy that has been long stuck in the body, because if you guys know anything about when we experience a traumatic experience, when we have a traumatic experience, the energy of it, if it's not released immediately, can actually get stuck in the body, right? And so for me, writing, and especially writing about experiences that I've had, and I will say that I've had to take considerable time between experiences and actually starting to release energy around them through the written word, because sometimes it can be too close and too raw. So just always with any type of spiritual healing practice, it's so important to check in with yourself, check in with your body. What works for one person will not work for everyone. We are beautiful, beautiful little unique snowflakes, and we really are. And so, some people may hate the process of writing. I mean, I don't know. It's just what works for me. And I know that it works for a lot of other people. So if this resonates, take it and leave the rest, right? Okay, so I believe that writing can help release old stuck energy in the body. And I also believe that writing can help you shift your perspective around certain topics, subjects. I know that even, from the perspective of reading other people's writing, right? I mean, whole worlds can open up. So for me, writing has been my constant companion. It has been something that I've done professionally. It has been with me during times when I had nothing. Guys, if y'all are really interested in, other aspects of my journey, really check out the first season of my podcast, Sex, Drugs, and Spirituality, because I'll go into a lot of that on that podcast, but I'm not going to really talk about it. But I will say that from a very young age, I left home when I was 15, and my modus operatus was to either numb or run for a number of years. And so even in states when I was running, I have traveled all over the world. I've lived high on the hog. I've also lived in caves, under bridges. And in all of those experiences, I had some form of notebook, some form of, it doesn't have to be freaking fancy, guys. It doesn't have to be some leather bound, perfect, like just something. I have always written. I am thinking about times when, and also part of my a big part of my experience from really from the 80s until rather recently has been being incarcerated in mental institutions and jails and various places. I've had a lot of especially when I was younger, I was very angry and I lashed out a lot at the world. And so, I spent some time in jail and I wrote. And that's what got me through. And one time I was actually in New Orleans, and I mean, this was God. I was like 18 then, and I'm 51 now, so it was it's been a while. But when I was in jail in New Orleans for 33 days, and I found it was like intake sheets or something. I mean, you figure it out because they sure as hell didn't give me a notebook. But I just found the outside of paper towel rollers, like whatever it was that I could write with. And writing got me through that experience. Writing has gotten me through, honestly, every experience that I've had, good, bad, whatever. I mean, writing has been by my side, and oh my God, I'm feeling like really emotional about it, guys, because, I've spent a long time thinking about things in this material world that have been with me for so many decades that aren't, real positive. I mean, I have a lot of patterns and a lot of habits that still are not, that I'm still releasing, right? Like smoking is a big one, right? And that's I mean, I wouldn't say it's negative. I'm where I'm at, but writing has been with me from the beginning, and writing is like my best friend, and no one can take it from me. And I'm just so thankful that I've never given up on my writing, and that I've never allowed anyone to ever tell me that I wasn't good enough. I started college when I was a single mother. I was cleaning houses. It wasn't a very practical path to take, creative writing in English, when, you got a little baby and no money, but I did it. Guys, I'm getting all emotional. Ooh! I had no idea all this was going to come up, and I'm so thankful. So, if you can consider, I'm trying to turn this down a little bit, if you can consider all things in this experience, this moment, this reality that we're in, as their own entities, right? Then writing has been my angel, my guardian angel, my best friend. Never anything negative. So thank you. Thank you, writing. I appreciate you helping me on my journey. Woo! Okay, guys. So before I move on, I am going to share 3 poems that I've written in the last few years that I wrote when I was in just various states of, I guess psychiatrists might say insanity. But really, it's just all been about clearing this energy of this world, guys, of our experiences that didn't serve. And I've experienced a lot that didn't serve. And so I got a lot of clearing. So, whew. Thank you, Great Spirit. I love you, writing. Okay. So now I'm going to share 3 poems with y'all. The first poem I wrote in 2020, and it's called This Is Not a Little Ditty. And I'm looking at this now. I write a lot of poems just in the notepad of my iPhone. And so This is not a little ditty. I know in the outside over there, we slide back and forth between reason and madness, between loneliness and kudzu-covered corridors, between the nagging knot in the gut and the recesses that whisper, no, no, this is all a facade. Last century's genocide once again regurgitated in an insidious way. As the buildings bend in delight, in the probing of nations, gnashing their teeth and exclaiming their superiority, their grandiosity etched on the inside flap, while the masses can no longer gather and rather sink deeper into minds of discontent. It is not written in cuneiform, though they falsely rub their nutsacks and prance in delight, while the multitudes of disparity lick laps around the psyche of the deranged who proclaim righteousness while shout in the name of homeless youth, skating past MARTA and BART stations in unison. As emergency room floors wriggle in progress while snakes dance on linoleum, on hedge funds vining like parasites inside conditioned brains. It is enough. It is not enough. It is exactly as it should be. It is this place, this realm, this foreign indignation of lay men and women and all the in-betweens, long pushed but still clinging to the audacity to speak quick-tongued while butchers brand the new normal on rib cages long overdue for an apocalyptic opportunity. To rise in random and proclaim that the place we run to is out of order and out of sufficient late night blunders. Of the laugh, of the run, hide, and seeking in anticipation of tomorrow, of the places notched that may or may not be. It is telling who sits stoic and waits and fumbles while we all wink and nod. And then, as it all comes tumbling, we proceed with a quickness and become. Woo, man. Woo, I felt the energy in that one, guys. Oh my God. Thank you, God. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you for this moment. Okay, so the second poem that, and again, I wrote that in 2020, right as we were moving into COVID. The second poem that I'm going to share with you guys today, and I'm sharing this because it's important for me to emphasize to anyone that's listening that writing can heal, and it's important. And it doesn't matter where you are at or what you are doing, you can use writing, if it calls to you, as a way to get through the day. Because remember, the day is a page, right? It's a page in, this life experience existence. And so for me, writing has helped me get through some of the most challenging of experiences. And so I'm sharing this with you guys. And this is actually not a structured poem, but a entry in a journal that I just recently found or re-stumbled on. And this is a journal that I kept during a period in my life when I experienced homelessness. And at this time, I was living in a shelter, and I was working at Waffle House, and where I was at the shelter at the Salvation Army, and they had a gym where anyone that was at the shelter could go to. And so I was so thankful at that time in my life that I could, at least, even though I was homeless, that I could still go to the gym and swim and stuff. So anyways, I'm calling this Sitting Under an Overpass off Green Street. September 2nd. I have my coffee and cigarettes under an overpass off Green Street. Traffic zooms above as I sit in my makeshift time machine and travel through dimensions. The lesser known trails, like the wisps and curls of cigarette smoke dissipating eventually into thin air. I have taken the crevices that twist and turn, plots like fallen angel fairy tales spread wings and hover, a glimmer or a shiver down wrecked nervous systems, gun pressed to temple, no time for memories tucked in backpacks and stuff. The slimy goo of forgotten you sticks to surfaces like radioactive glue. So I sit and contemplate future days gone by as I sit by your side in our mountain castle by the sea. Today I'll walk to the gym about a mile. Man, the exercise makes me smile in this moment out in the wilds. Then yoga and hot tub awaits to cleanse the glue out of the sockets so they can be used to shine bright light on this barreling flight through our minds' reality, this ghetto earth school, this shared reality. So I just opened up my journal, or the journal that I was carrying back then, to this page this morning and read this, and it was it's a wonderful reflection that even when I was in a state of sheer, what other people might consider desperation, I had no money, no support, I was living in a shelter. I crafted the time to write as my therapy, really. It's, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Okay, so the last poem that I am going to read for you guys before I move on is entitled Turn Victimhood to Victory. And this is the most recent poem that I've written. I wrote it, let me see what the date is, because I just keep notebooks, guys, and I have so many of these, I wrote this at the beginning of April. Okay, so this is the last poem for you, and then I will give you guys an exercise that you can use too if writing resonates for you as a powerful tool for transmutation and shedding what no longer serves and being able to bring in the energy of what does serve for you. Turning victimhood to victory. Turn victimhood to victory by shifting the way you see. Focus on the land will ground. When you cry, go hug trees. And as you choose to feel the healing energy and that it's real, you feel it and you shift it from a mentality that keeps nerves frozen in the rain, stuck in muscles, circulatory and vascular pain. As above, so below, this perspective shifts as you begin to flow. Low to high, you reach the sky. Turn pain of victimhood to expansive gains of victory over our ability to change the story and become the star. To decide that you are not trying to be worthy. You already are. Yay, guys. So I'm getting there with all of us collectively, and it just filled my heart to be able to share some of my poetry with you and to tell you a little bit about my own writing journey, why I believe in the written word, and why you guys should too. Now, an exercise. So when I was teaching, I always would encourage my students to do what, is called like brainstorming, just kind of free flow writing. And as I moved into the more accelerated part of my spiritual awakening, I realized that brainstorming and free flow writing is really what the spiritual community calls automatic writing or channeled messages, channeled writing, right? I believe that, the pen can be utilized as a conduit of energy from the ethers into this material reality. And so I developed this personal writing exercise for you guys, and I'm calling it the I Am poem. And it incorporates all of the building blocks of material form: frequency, sound, color, and words, and numbers, right? And so what you do for the I Am poem, and I'm actually going to do an I Am poem this week doing this same exercise, and if anyone decides to do an I Am poem as well using this exercise, I would love for you guys to share them. You can post them on any of my platforms. It would just be a wonderful way for us to, engage in community building, right, using the written word. And really, that's why I do all of this, guys, is I'm a humanitarian and I love you guys. I love our like crazy freaking humans. Okay, so personal writing exercise, the I Am poem. So for the first 5 to 10 minutes, you free flow, starting with the words I am. And whatever you think about, it does not matter. And honestly, I would suggest you try to suspend thinking at all. Just take the pen, and whatever comes out after you write I am is good. You don't need to worry about spelling. I know for me, I am not a good speller and I'm a writer, so don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. As long as you know what you've written, that's all that matters, okay? So just write for about 5 minutes, okay? Oh, and while you're writing, I encourage you to, after I am, if it comes into your consciousness, consider writing words that have to do with colors and numbers and sound. Okay? And I'm going to do this too, guys. So colors, numbers, sound. I am free flow write. If you do kind of focus in on what you're writing, focus on colors, numbers, or sound. Okay? And so then after your 5 to 10 minutes of free flow writing, take a break. Make sure you're back in your body, give it a little tap. Look at what you've written. And I want you to think of your favorite number, or think of, for me, I have a lot of favorite numbers, but 4 is my numerology, like life path number or whatever, so I use 4 a lot. And actually I'm 444 all the way across for numerology, so I use 4 a lot. So for this exercise, you're going to look at your paper and you're going to take the 4th word and you're going to circle it, and that is the word that you will start your I am poem with. Now, for the rest of the exercise, you can go through everything that you've written and use the counting. So every 4th word you've got to use in a line, right? And so let's say your number's 23. I don't know how many words you've written, but you can go through and you can also combine it. So if you pick number 23, you picked your 23rd word to start the poem, and then you can combine 2 and 3 together, 5, and then after that pick every fifth word to use in each line. Okay, so that is, and so why a personal writing exercise like this? Well, I think it's fun and it really helps to shift your perspectives about what writing is. And I believe that a lot of people get very self-conscious when they're writing. They want to use the right words, or they want to, or whatever. And so this is an exercise that really just kind of gets rid of all of that. So the immediate flow, right? I am flow. If you start thinking, think numbers, colors, sound. Then go back, pick the word that is correlated with your favorite number. Mine is 4, so I would pick the 4th word. And then I pick that word, and that starts my I am poem. And then I take my favorite number, and I go through all of my automatic writing, and every 4th word I'm going to circle, and I'm going to use that word in one line in each line of my poem. And then just kind of go from there and see what happens. And again, processes like this help you to just really shift your thinking and open yourself up to the possibilities of what written language can do for you individually. So I hope that you guys enjoyed my spiritual discussion today. I just get a lot out of these ruminations, and it fills me with joy. It just fills me with so much joy that there are folks of you guys listening from around the world. Let's see, we got I don't have anyone going through these, but I do have some people that were a piece of cardboard, nothing more. Okay, there's a whole history to even what cardboard is. Everything is nothing and nothing is everything. Okay, I'm gonna look at those things after. But anyways, okay, so now let us shift into thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you. Okay, guys, so now we're going to do our angel message, and just we can connect to Great Spirit, we can connect to our angels, which I like to think of them as kind of mediaries. They're kind of like Bodavistas. They are always with us, and all we have to do to bring in these beautiful energies is ask. So thank you to all of our angels collectively. Show us the message that we need to see to be the best versions of we. What do we have today? Oh, I love it, guys. It just... Okay, let me get to the page so we can do all this together. Our angel message for the day: harmony and resolution. Angels of harmony and healing are with you to help you resolve any conflicts you may have been having, and that's disturbing your inner peace. You are being encouraged to call in the light of God and surrender any concerns you have so that the divine can resolve them. And, I was talking to my spiritual bestie yesterday about, what we can control and what we can't. And I was thinking about, and I mentioned the Abraham Hicks model of, write down everything that you have to do in a day, and then just pick the top 2 that you can do, and maybe it's just take a shower and take a walk, and everything else on that page, give it over to God. Give it to your angels. Give it to Source, to Great Spirit, okay? Because together we can. Together we can do it. And our guides are here to help us, right? And so this is a time, guys, to focus on our own inner peace. Dedicate time and energy to doing what you can to make yourself feel comforted and comfortable. Self-care is a spiritual practice, a deep spiritual practice, guys. Anything that you do, like I talked about last week. I was just thinking about, like, because I rub my feet with Vaseline, man, or some other kind of lotion, and I get all of those what are they called, the reflexology points, and like right after I take a shower, and it is just such a wonderful releasing, healing activity. And that's just rubbing your freaking feet, and so whatever it is that you can do for self-care, our body is what is allowing us to have this material experience, man. So treat it right. So through being more caring towards yourself, you will create harmonious energy that will wash out like a wave to all those around you. Trust that this will happen and harmony will be restored. Because, guys, harmony is the sound, that is the vibration of the universe in balance, right? We can have dissonance or we can have harmony. And so our angel guides are asking us to come together in harmony to find resolution. And my gosh, it's almost been a freaking hour, guys. But if you're still here with me, I'm gonna end today with a fun release dance. I have been working with the first 3 chakras for the last couple months. So that's root, sacral, and solar plexus. And so there are several yoga poses that I have been using in my own meditative dance. And this is the mountain, warrior 2, that's for root. For sacral, we have the triangle and the goddess pose. And then for the solar plexus, we have the triangle, downward dog, and plank. And so I have been using these yoga poses in my own dance meditation to help me ground my energy into the day, because the day is the page, right, of our life. So I am going to put on, I've been really getting into nature spirit on YouTube, so I'm gonna put, let me see if I can get there. I'm gonna put on put him on, and you guys can go to Nature Spirit, on YouTube. He plays a lot of beautiful instruments, including the flute, which is why I love it. Let me get this. This is like way DIY, guys, because, it's just little old me here. But let me get to the song. I'm going to turn this up, and then we're going to get down, and we're going to do a little bit of releasing while listening to Nature Spirit. And let me turn this up. Hold on, let me see if I can. Okay. I hope y'all can hear this. I'm gonna try to get it up. Okay, so I'm just going to have my little notebook because I don't remember it all, but here we go. Can you hear the music? So first, we got Warrior 2. And it's hard for me to stand still, so I might just do like a Warrior 2 while moving, right? Going down to the mountain. Right? This is root chakra. Then we have the sacral. We can go into the triangle. and I'm always got to flow with it. Okay, let's go into the solar plexus. We got downward dog for that. So, we start up in the warrior. Move down to the mountain. Right. Go down to the downward dog. We can do a plank. Yeah. Woo, it feels so good, guys. Get down to a plank. Let's finish this off with a little bit of sacral goddess warrior pose. Okay, let's get down. Down, 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 down. As far as you can go. As far as you can go. Get down to ground. Raise your hands in the air. Put them down to ground. Just have fun with it, guys. It's all about just letting the flow come through. I love you. Mwah. Have a wonderful week. See you later.